Inconceivable Mystic Path, this is verse 4 to 6 of the 9th chapter. Can we chant this verse together? Yes. Loudly. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matsani sarvabhutani na chaham eteshu avastitah. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Who is saying this? Who is speaking these words? Lord Krishna. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So the Lord also has three forms. We talked about it in one of our previous sessions. What are the three forms? Three aspects. Bhagavan, which is the personality of Godhead. Then we have Paramatma, which is the super soul, localized aspect present in everyone's heart. And then we have Brahman, which is the unmanifested form. What is the unmanifested form called? Brahman. Then the second is Paramatma, the localized aspect of the Lord, which is present in each and every atom, everyone's heart, as super soul, as Paramatma. And then we have Bhagavan. So entire material cosmic manifestation is combination of, can anyone help me complete this sentence? It's a combination of the entire cosmic manifestation, the entire universe is a combination of two things. What is that? You're right. The Lord's superior or spiritual energy and inferior and material energy. The Lord is omnipresent. He is all-pervading, present everywhere. If He is all-pervading and present everywhere, why are we not able to see Him? Yes.
Because people lack faith and they are too much in their senses. They are drowned in their material senses.
So the example is given, just like milk has butter in it, but we cannot see it. By following the process, the butter comes up. So likewise, the Lord also is all-pervading, but we have to follow the process to be able to perceive the Lord. And what is the process? We will briefly cover. Now, although He is all-pervading, He is present everywhere, just like I take a piece of paper and I tear it into pieces and I disperse the pieces, it gets spread all over the room, the original paper is lost. Am I right? Because it's torn into pieces and the pieces have been thrown all over. Unlike that, the Lord, although He is all-pervading, in His impersonal form, He is still existing as a person. He is not, the example is given in Ishopanishad, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Eva Vashyashyate, which means, although complete wholes are emanating from the Supreme Lord, still He remains the complete whole. In other words, 1 minus 1 is equal to 1. So example is given, just like the king, in his kingdom there are many departments. Although the king is ruling and the different departments, they all are executing his orders. It is his energy which is dispersed working in different departments. But still the king is not there in the department. He is aloof from all those departments. although the departments are all working because of his orders, because of his energy, but he is still aloof from those departments. So Krishna in this verse is saying, Maya tatam idam sarvam, everything is manifested by me. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, still myself is the very source of creation. In other words, although he is all-pervading, he is manifest everywhere, still he remains as a separate entity who is the source of everything. So we get an example of Atlas where he is holding on the globe. It's very difficult, it's very burdensome. Unlike that understanding we get from the Gita, the Lord is maintaining this world effortlessly. Now we have different planets, different, gigantic, just like we have sun, we have billions of stars, each of them having its own family of planets. They all are in the space. So here it is said that just by Lord's willing, there is creation, there is maintenance, and there is annihilation. Just by His willing. Now this is a nice video I received today on WhatsApp. The video will not be very clear. Have you heard about Dr. Devi Shetty?
Yes.
Narayana Hridayalaya. It's very famous. He is a very famous heart surgeon. So let's hear him, what he talks about his understanding of God.
The Narayana is no different, and faith is present everywhere. While Shetty is a Hindu, he ensures that the hospital embraces all faiths. In a ceremony thousands of years old, a Hindu priest offers prayers at the opening of this ultra-modern hybrid cath lab. Not to do so would be unthinkable. It's no surprise then that faith and religion plays an equally important part in the lives of those who work here.
I think it is the environment in India where we express our belief in God in a very expressive manner and we are open to it. In my experience, outstanding doctors across the world are spiritual. They definitely believe in some cosmic forces, at least a good number of them. If any heart surgeon says that the outcome of his surgery is because of his skill or his dexterity, he is kidding, he is fooling himself. I operate on some of the most complex cardiac conditions. By the grace of God, most of them survive, some of them don't survive. There are patients who had absolutely no chance of survival. They get the operation done, in 7 days they go home. At the same time, there are operations where the success rate was excellent and that patient doesn't survive. Who decides who survives, who doesn't survive? It's not me. The purpose of life is to serve God. And the best way to serve God is by serving His creation.
So, God is present everywhere. We can always deny His existence or be oblivious to His presence, or follow a process and develop a relationship with Him. Experience His reciprocation, experience His love. Now this is mentioned as Yoga Aishwarya, the mystic power. Although the Lord is there, the entire creation, huge planets, all are moving in their respective orbits. The sun is rising, The moon is rising, day and night, working in such orderly fashion, and effortlessly it's moving on under the direction of the Lord. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sa chara acharam. Under my supervision, under my direction, Krishna says, Prakriti, this nature, is producing chara. Chara means moving and non-moving beings. It is not happening automatically. It's not happening, okay, it's happening because of gravitational force. Yes, who set that up? It may be an immediate cause, but who set that whole thing up? There's an intelligent designer. There's someone who has planned the whole thing. And that here Krishna is saying is my mystic opulence. Text 6. As the mighty wind blowing everywhere always rests in ethereal space, know that in the same manner all beings rest in me. Just like the wind rests in ethereal space. There are Panchabhuta. What is Panchabhuta? Panchabhuta. Earth, air, water, fire and ether. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between air and ether? Ether is space. So air is in that space. Ether is space. So wind is blowing in ether, in the space. So here cosmic manifestation rests in the space, in ether. So Panchabhuta we talked about earth, air, water, fire and ether. In the Garga Upanishad it is stated by the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun and the great planets are moving. All are resting in space but moving under the direction and order of the Supreme Lord. This material manifestation which appears to us to be very wonderful and great is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is moving under the supreme direction and the will of the Lord. The Lord has created this world for a purpose. He maintains it and at the right time it will be annihilated. Now, some frequently asked questions when we talk about God's creation. Who created God? Okay, we understand creation, we are talking about God created, God is managing, He is maintaining. Who created God? What is the answer? God's Father created God. Who created God? What's the answer? God created everything, but who created God? They say, why the hen exists? Because of the egg. The egg hatched and there was a chicken and then there was an egg. But then, how did the egg come about? Obviously, some hen would have laid the egg. So where did that hen come from? So, it's like chicken and egg story. So, who created God? Anyone? Yes.
He's always been present.
He is always present. But who created him? He was present everywhere, but who created him? Huh?
He is eternal.
He is eternal.
Anand.
Anand. Okay, anybody else? So, okay, this is a good example we get. How many of us have traveled by train? Good. So, in a train, we see there are many bogies. If I were to ask you why is bogie 4 moving, what is the answer? Because it is connected to bogie 3 and bogie 3 is pulling bogie 4. Why is bogie 3 moving? Because it is connected to bogie 2. Now, same way, why is bogie 2 moving? It's connected to bogie 1. Why is bogie 1 moving? Because it is connected to engine. Next comes the question, why is engine moving? Huh? to what it is connected to, what is driving that engine. In fact, it is called an engine and not a bogie because it need not be pulled by anything. It can generate the energy to not only move, but move all other bogies. That's why it is called an engine. That's why it is not another bogie. So likewise, a Vedic literature says, Janmadi asyataha. He is the original source and cause of everything. Sarva karana karanam. Why it rains? It rains because of clouds. Why the clouds? Because of water evaporation. Why water evaporation? Because of sun. Why sun? Because of him. In this world, we see there are a series of cause and effects. The ultimate cause, the cause of everything, the cause of all causes is the Supreme Lord. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He has no beginning, for he is the beginning of everything. He is the ultimate cause of all causes. That's why he is God. Now the next question is, can you show me God? If you ask me this question, what will I reply? Pay me $10,000. So there are a lot of people who have made this business also. There is some secret mantra being given, you chant this, you will see God and you pay this many dollars. So can you show me God? What's the answer? By the way, how many of us have seen God?
Feel the presence of God. We can feel the presence
Okay.
of God.
It's not the soul, it's the feeling inside.
Even the fact.
Okay. You are escaping the right answer. Okay. Huh? But have you seen God? Okay, so the answer is, there are two inherent mistakes in this particular question. First, God is not our order carrier. Come before me, I want to see you. Can you show me God? Can you show me the Prime Minister? He should come in front of me and then I should shake hands with him. Then I believe that he exists. No, he's not an order carrier. Second, do we have the required qualification to see God? Forget about God. Even for that matter, Narendra Modi, even if we have to meet him, although he is relatively a mundane person, one of the many prime ministers of different countries, but still requires some element of qualification. So just like our eyes, we can see only the visible range, 4,000 to 7,000 Angstrom. Then we have radio waves and X-rays, ultraviolet, infrared, we are not able to see. Just because we are not able to see does not mean that they don't exist. If we have the required gadgets, if we follow a certain process, we can see infrared and ultraviolet. So likewise, Prabhupada gives two examples. Just like an ore, an iron ore or a gold ore, for a geologist, when he sees that, he knows that it is not ordinary rock. Because of his qualification, he can easily identify it as a gold ore or an iron ore. But for a common man like us, we will see it as a piece of rock. Another example Prabhupada gives, just like when the car breaks down, we open the bonnet. Maybe it doesn't happen very often now. I remember in earlier times, Fiat and Ambassador, this was a regular problem, more so in winters. Anyone has seen those good old days when you had to push the car in the morning, all the family members gather and just dhakka laga kabhi. How many of you have seen those good old days? Especially in winter season, Fiat and Ambassador, the whole family used to get together and push. So imagine the car breaks down and you open the bonnet and you start seeing what went wrong. Then you fiddle a little bit and nothing is, the car doesn't start. Then you call for a mechanic, he comes, he just quickly sees, opens the bonnet, sees the same thing what you and me are seeing and quickly fixes something and the car starts. Although he's seeing the same car, the same engine, the same bonnet, but he sees differently because of his qualification. A geologist sees the same ore. For me and you it is a piece of rock, but for him it's a gold ore. Because he has a different qualification to see. So likewise, the Lord is present everywhere. We can see the Lord. Arjuna saw the Lord. Lord is present. But the Kauravas didn't see. They saw him just like an ordinary person. When Duryodhana was asked, what do you want? He said, yes, I want your army. He didn't perceive Krishna as God. So the first qualification required is, the first requisite is to develop the required qualification. So when we have the required qualification, the qualification is this Premanjana Chitrita, when our eyes are anointed with love of God, Prema, which we talked about in the development of Bhakti. Santa Sadaiva Hridayo Shubhlokan. Santa means those who are devotees. Sadaiva. Sadaiva means always. Hridaya, in the heart. Vilokayanti. They are able to perceive. When we tread this path, we develop that qualification. And this is not 0 or 1. 0 or 1 means one fine day when we would have got purified, we will be able to perceive the Lord. As we purify, to that extent we start perceiving the Lord. It is not one fine day when we will get completely purified, which could happen after many lifetimes we will be able to perceive the Lord. No. As we tread this path, anartha nivritti happens, nishtha, ruchi. When these processes are set in, we start perceiving the Lord. It becomes pratyaksha. Then you don't require evidence. Then you will not ask the question, can you show me God? You feel the reciprocation of God in your life. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, who is the pure devotee, whom the pure devotees sees in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with salve of love. If God exists, then why so much evil and suffering in this world? I was asked this question. Even babies aren't safe. 8-month-old baby raped by a 28-year-old cousin. This was in news just a few days back. Yes or no? Now, we are saying the world is running according to the supreme will of the Lord. He is in control. Everything is managed by Him. It's created by Him. It's maintained by Him. It's destroyed by Him. Then why all this and all this? 8-month-old rape victim undergoes surgery. Stable. Now, when we come across this news, it's very bewildering. It's very painful. Tsunamis, earthquakes, some innocent children get crushed in accidents. Then sometimes we wonder, where is God? सिर्फ गीता लाइफ सेशन में बोलते हैं भगवान है, भगवान है, भगवान है. रियल लाइफ में तो नहीं है भैया. There's so much of misery, there's so much of cruelty, Bad people are thriving, are prospering, are enjoying, are happy. And all these people chanting Hare Krishna, they're suffering. And is God. What's the answer? I hope you don't walk out of this one. Yes, Prabhu, what you said is right. There is no God. What's the answer?
Because the person who did it now, his Atma is covered with lot of mental things and so not able to visualize.
But what about this 8-month-old baby? What mistake it did? Yes, Ramesh. So this brings me to the story I'm sure many of us have heard about. This is about a barber. The person was getting his haircut done, and there was a conversation with the barber, and the barber said, I don't believe God exists. So then this person started, just for the sake of discussion, arguing, this creation is there, this world is there, there's an intelligent designer, God is there. So say, if the God exists, then why there is so much misery in this world? Why there is so much pain and suffering in this world? When I see all these anomalies, then I have no choice but to believe that God doesn't exist. If He exists, then why all these miseries in this world? So then he didn't argue with him much. He left from his shop and then he came back after 10 minutes and told this barber, he says, barbers don't exist. I am fully convinced that barbers don't exist. He says, what are you saying? Just 5 minutes back I shaved your head, I did your haircut and you say barbers don't exist. He says, I went out, I saw a lot of people, the completely hairs were not cut properly and the beards were not trimmed. When I see a lot of people lying in the street like that, I got fully convinced that barbers don't exist. Otherwise, if the barbers exist, how come there are people who have unshaved heads and untrimmed beards? How can we account for that? So the barber told, what's my mistake? They don't come to me. I'm always there for them to get their beards trimmed. The person said, same is the case. The Lord, in the Gita, He says, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu, I am equal to everyone. I am not partial to anyone. Then we see that somebody is very prosperous, is very happy, very wealthy, and somebody is wretchedly poor, suffering. On one side we see a lot of disparities, other side we see God saying, I am equal to everyone. How do we reconcile? How do we reconcile? We can reconcile when it comes to the understanding of the law of karma. Lord has given us a free will. Using free will we can act. Based on our actions, there are reactions. If we act wrongly using our free will, we get reactions in the form of miseries. If we use our free will properly and do pious acts, good acts, then we get reactions in the form of happiness. Now everyone, whether suffering or enjoying, is reaping the reactions of what he has done in the past. Could be in this life or it could be in previous lives. God is equal to everyone. Yes?
Okay, I always have this question. It is always said what you sow is what you reap, right? But how do you know that it is because of the past action that the person is facing this reaction, or whether it is something for what the person is not responsible, but he's still, experiencing that?
So this is a very clear law. Even Newton's third law of motion, what does it say? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's as simple as that. Just that why we get bewildered is because there's a time lag between an action and a reaction. I'll come to this. This is the next slide. What we see manifesting in the life is called phalonmukham. Phalonmukham means fructification of that reaction. Phala means fruit. When you sow a plant, it takes time for the phala to manifest. First it's a seed, then it sprouts, then it becomes a sapling, then it has leaves, branches, twigs, and finally there is flower, and then flower, then there's a fruit, and the fruit matures, and we get a ripened fruit. So there's a time gap between the seed and the ripened fruit. So what we see in this world is phalonmukham. This phalonmukham is coming from bijam. Bijam is the seeds, the reactions which are there in an unmanifest form as bijam in our mind-body system. And this bijam comes from kutam. What is kutam? Kutam is tendency to act. which is also kama, which is also desire. And that kutam comes from avidya. Avidya kama karmabhi. Because of avidya we have kama. Because of kama means material desires. Avidya kama karmabhi, we act because of different material desires, sometimes sinfully, and because of that there are reactions, and because of that we enjoy or suffer. So, why it is bewildering? Because there is a time gap between our actions and a reaction. Somebody who is enjoying in this life, although is apparently doing wrong things, he is reaping the results of some of the good things which he has done in the past. And the same is the case with somebody who is apparently suffering now, although he is acting piously present. Yes?
But Swamiji, how do we know that probably it was not the child's fault and it was the other person who had a corrupt thinking? So how do we know whether it was really the child's fault to experience that?
First thing is, again, this is from the descending process of acquiring knowledge. This is from the Lord Himself. Everyone is getting what is due to him. Now that's a different thing. If I murder someone, I can always say your karma was to get murdered, so I am not responsible. That's a different thing that I had a desire to murder, and in this equation, both these desires got merged. Lord required a nimitta, an instrument, and the person who had a desire to do this evil, sinful deed, that becomes a nimitta to deliver the person what is due to him. In other words, what I am saying is, even if somebody is suffering, the primal, this is Bhagavatam, which is words, Tatya Anukampan Sumiksha Mano Bhunjana Evatma Kritam Vipakam. A person, when he suffers, a very, very fundamental understanding what he should have is, it is my doing. The person who is making my life miserable is an immediate cause. Is an immediate cause, but ultimately, who is responsible? I am responsible. Now I'll come to another slide. In this world, people are acting so recklessly, and seems to be going scot-free. The Lord is watching. Now here we see a slide. We had this terrorist attack today or yesterday in that army camp. The army men went and shot the terrorists. They were killed. 4 of them got killed. Now you may say, they shot dead the terrorist. How it is justified? They killed them. They killed them because they acted in the wrong way. 1 million chickens, 13,000 pigs, 4,000 cows slaughtered every hour in the US. God is watching. Then we don't question why God is so cruel. Every action has a reaction. Now talk about the people who are slaughtering these cows. 4,000 cows getting slaughtered every hour. That's only in the US. It will have a reaction. Imagine a person who is eating day in and day out beef. Maybe not in this life, maybe 2 lives later, when he suffers miserably, then he'll say, why God is so unkind. Now we'll understand why that correlation is not evident. We talked about in one earlier session also when one lady was trying why that correlation is not. There's a reason why that correlation is not so evident. But the fact is that there is a correlation. Everyone is getting what is due to them. No one can go scot-free. You can not pay your income tax and go scot-free, but not with the stringent laws of nature. That's what makes us, when we become aware of these laws, we start living responsible lives. Otherwise, we end up living very recklessly. I don't care. Eat, drink, be merry, enjoy life recklessly. They are well-defined laws. So, they have been eating from the childhood, so how do you define what is good, what is bad? First thing we have to understand, law is not subject to our opinion and understanding. Do you agree with me? If I go to the US and say, I am more comfortable driving on the left side of the road, that's what I have done the whole life. That's not your wish. The law says you drive on the right side. And ignorance of law is no excuse. You cannot say, I was driving on the left side, I didn't know, I just landed up in the US. First they will give a challan and then they'll say, better to drive on the right side. So in human form of life, when animals do any sin, so-called, a tiger eats, it does not incur any sin because it does not have that developed intelligence to discern. It acts impulsively, it is programmed to eat meat. We have a choice. When you go in the flight, the air hostess will come, sir, veg or non-veg. You have a choice. You have a free will. So basis what you do, you have a reaction. And good and bad is not subject to my opinion. Law of karma does not vary from person to person or country to country. In America, beef eating is as per law of karma, okay? In India, it is bad. No. That's why we have self-realized soul giving us that understanding basis the instruction given by the Lord Himself, the maker of the law. Just like we have law books which have well-defined laws, Indian penal laws, Indian criminal laws, likewise there are law books which defines what is right, what is wrong. The more we are aligned to these laws, the better we are at living the life. Otherwise, we mess up our lives. Yes.
Swami, today, nowadays, there is a lot of talk that is going on about becoming a vegan also.
Yeah.
And a lot of videos are being shared about not wanting, you should not consume milk and a lot of other products. So, is that as bad as consuming meat with seed?
So, I have also studied quite a bit on this subject. It is a fact in present time, most of the milk being distributed and sold in the market is not good for health. Because the milk so produced is produced from cows which are Jersey cows. They are not, in one sense, the original cows. Just to enhance milk production, it has become complete. The milk industry, the dairy industry has become commercialized for profit. The cows are inseminated artificially. Different injections are given. A typical Jersey cow gives 20 liters of milk, whereas a desi cow generally gives about 2 to 3, 4 liters of milk. So when we drink, looks like milk, just like for that matter in present times we have you seen this cabbage in the market? Gobi? So big, so fresh, so white, because I had a small, in my house there was a garden and I used to love gardening, so I used to try growing vegetables. It would never come up because the moment it comes up, there will be some worms or something like that, or it gets discolored. But you see the huge, big, this thing, it's all chemicals, pesticides sprayed. Just like, so it is a fact these days they're talking about A1 milk, A2 milk. This milk which comes from this thing, artificially inseminated, injected with all kinds of hormones, is not good for health. But the original milk, which comes from desi cow, which drunk in a proper way, is nutritious and good for health. And more so these vegans, these PETA and all they're talking about, because they've actually gone and seen the dairy farm, what's happening. And it is very, very bad. It's equally bad like slaughterhouses. So that's when they are saying that cruelty to animals, so better stay away from dairy, stay away from all kinds of animal products and be a vegan. But otherwise, if you see Gopala, the whole Vedic literatures we have, Nanda Maharaj, great sages, they should only live on milk. Any other question?
Yeah. One question. It's a little, for me, it is difficult, maybe you answer it. Spirituality versus Sansari Gyan, or equilibrium, or alertness. It is different. More spiritual, more, less spiritual, Sansari Gyan. Less alertness, less intelligence. Like I am being observed myself, yes, something happens.
In fact, I understood your question. In fact, Krishna in the Gita says, when one understands this knowledge, yasmin vijnate means after you have understood this knowledge, sarvam evam vijnata bhavati. Sarvam evam, you understand the complete picture. You have a holistic understanding of life. You may not know Java, C++, you may not know some technical things, but things fall in place. You can see, in other words, the scam is busted. It's a scam. Believe me, we all are getting cheated royally. In the name of happiness, we are pursuing things which will bring suffering in our life. This is the meaning of illusion, and we cannot see it. It's like that fish. The bait is dangling, the fish is getting tempted, it has hope for pleasure, it is going towards that bait, it hits on that bait and gets stuck and gets caught and gets killed. That's the meaning of illusory pleasure. Illusory pleasure means the promise of happiness. We tread that path, yes, I will be happy, but that very source of happiness becomes the cause of my distress. And only with Shastra Chakshu, only with transcendental knowledge, only with this most confidential knowledge, only with this Raj Vidya, you can break that sham. And then you lead your life in knowledge. You can see things. Then we are not bewildered where God is, why bad things are happening to good people. You can see things as they are. Everyone is getting what is due to them. You don't blame God, you blame yourself.
Why are souls created in the first place? They are sons of the Lord, but why was it necessary given?
No. The question is, why souls were created in first place? Lord is a person, just like you and me. And how do we get enjoyment? In fact, many of the qualities what we have are originally present in the Lord. Now, we all enjoy. There's a rasa in relationships, yes or no? We are called social animals, social beings. If you were given all what you desire in life, the best of cars, the best of house, the best of comforts, the best of clothes, and you are put in an island and nobody is there, will you enjoy? There's no one to show my car. What's the use of that car? I'll be driving in Rolls Royce, but nobody to admire. There's no maja. We are social beings. In that social interaction, in that relationship, there's a rasa. So it is said that just like when a man and woman get married, they long for a child. Although it is quite evident, it is problematic. You can't sleep in the night. You have to take care of the child. You have to get up in the night. And as the child grows up, there are different things. Sometimes mothers sacrifice their job, their career to take care of the child, which is required. It's an intense job. And sometimes, because it is problematic, many people don't have a child. But why people long for a child? Because of that rasa, that relationship. When the child speaks broken language, it's very pleasing to the parents. The Lord also, originally when He there, Eko Bahusham, He became many for His pleasure. We are His amshas. Mamaiv amsha jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. The Lord became many for His pleasure. So in other words, we are His amshas, meant to give pleasure to the Lord. That's our constitutional position. Just like this hand is meant to give pleasure to this body, to work for the betterment or the overall scheme of things for this body. If this hand makes its own independent plans of enjoyment, then it is not the part of the body. So likewise, Eko Bahusham, the Lord became many, we are His amshas, and our constitutional position is we get pleasure by giving pleasure to the Lord. But when we become envious and we start making our independent plans of enjoyment, which is called material desire, Ichcha and Dvesha, Samuthena, then we are in this material world. Okay, try it out. You want to be happy independently, try it out. That's not your constitution. That's not fish out of water. That's not its original habitat. So this process, what Krishna is sharing, is to go back to our constitutional position, be an amsha of the Lord, surrender to the Lord, give pleasure to the Lord, and you get your quota of happiness. All this, what we see, this rape thing and all that, people have independent plans of Lord, lust. There is no training in this world to control the mind, control the senses. Everyone has a desire, yes, I want to be the enjoyer, I want to be the Lord, by hook or crook, and that's what we see. Okay, you want to be the enjoyer, then suffer the reaction. Now this rapist, he got pleasure. Yes, definitely those 10 seconds, maybe he enjoyed it. But rest of the life he will suffer. Not only he, all others will also suffer. But keep in mind, everyone will get what is due to him. Even this rapist will get. Maybe after 2 lives, maybe in this life. And then we'll wonder why he has to suffer. In all other life forms, there is a gradual evolution. Plants, birds, aquatics, reptiles, they keep moving upwards from one species to higher because they don't have a free will. Only in human form of life, because we have developed free will, human life is like a junction. You can elevate or you can degrade. In animal form of life, they only elevate. One-way traffic. Because a tiger cannot be taught to be a vegetarian.
But if the humans can fall back to the animal level, then how we are being qualified?
Through gradual level.
So each and every species, they have
Yes. So that's the danger. Yes.
I have a question regarding the projecting God as a human face or human being. Is it really so, or
Let me just check.
is it really so, or is it our creation of being the God?
No, it is true, and we don't speculate. What is the meaning of speculation? It is not my opinion, it is what the Lord Himself is saying.
The image, the picture of the.
Even that, Govindam Adi, the Brahmasmita, the description of the Lord form is there. So it's not a fiction, it's not imagination. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayach, Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dala, his eyes are like the soft lotus petals. So there's a description of the form of the Lord. Shama Sundaram.